And good morning at 2:22 a.m. on 12 or 2012. That's the title today. 2012. The day speaks for itself. And the blurb goes like this. As most of the world, other than the US, writes dates, with the day of the month first, today is 2012. Tomorrow begins the grand alignment. We discussed this a little in last night's meeting here at the Mary Horgan Center. Of course, none of us expect the old world or expect the world to end with this alignment and shift of the ages. And none of us know exactly how it will play out on planet Earth. On one thing, I think we were all in agreement. Whatever happens, we all need to take action in the direction of love and truth. Of course, that action may well vary from person to person, depending on individual makeup and our particular roles or missions in our life journey. For me, my role has been one of standing up for justice and human rights. How much that will continue into the new age remains to be seen. Indeed, it does. The excitement for me, the anxiety for me is what's going to happen. There are so many things going on in my life, in the lives of my friends around the world that take time to write to me, and things that I don't even know about. But I do try my best to keep my fingers on the pulse of what's happening, to the best of my ability. Now, I'm only one person. I can't watch everything that people send me. Sometimes I can't, oftentimes I can't read everything that people send me, especially when they're humongously long, and it's discouraging just looking at the sheer volume of the material dealing with 2012. Like my friend Aristo Menes sent me that thing about all the astrological alignments, which I mentioned in the meeting last night, and it's quite interesting. All the squares and the trines and all these other things. I don't understand all of that, but there does seem to be a lot of them, and the alignment of 2012 looks fascinating. I mean, it's all facing up. All the chart, all the energies are facing up. And I thought that was really interesting, because that's how you and I need to be as this alignment comes into being. Now, tomorrow there will not be a video in the morning. It will go up at some point tomorrow night, the video that we made last night at our meeting. Steve assures me that he will have it done this afternoon and drop it off so that I can upload it. And I will be uploading that so that it goes up sometime in the morning tomorrow. Now, I remember the last time that I uploaded it, it took forever to to actually get to upload. So I will probably start at maybe midnight or something like that tomorrow night, and I expect to be up most of the day tomorrow. And I want to encourage each of you to participate, take time to participate with others in these events that, I mean, in my local area, there's at least a half a dozen different events that are going on Friday and Saturday in relationship to this event of the galactic alignment with the center of the galaxy and all of the other alignments that are occurring right at this time in history, which some people said has never occurred before, because it's also a, I forget, 52 million year cycle or 92 million year cycle. It's a long other cycle that hasn't happened in millions of years. I forget what that particular alignment is. I'm sure somebody will email it in and let me know what it is. But somebody mentioned that in the discussion that we had last night. I think Tony might have been the one to mention it. So there's all sorts of astrological, cosmic alignments going on, and we're going to be moving more into the feminine energy of Aquarius, which is also the air sign. We're open up to spirit more. We're moving out of, let's see, we've been in what have we been in? We've been in the age of Pisces, which is, that's water, right? Land, air, water, fire. Yeah. So we're moving out of the water, which is the unconscious, interestingly enough, into air, which is more conscious, more open to the higher energies. And I want to encourage you, besides participating in some of your local events in your area that I'm sure you're going to find. I mean, there's just too much excitement. Unless you live in a very rural area, there's bound to be something going on. If there's nothing, create your own thing of opening up and visualizing yourself doing it with other people. If there's no one else, honestly, no one else that you can do it with, visualize yourself connecting with all the other people around the earth. I guess some people are saying it's 11:11 at whatever time, 11:11 a.m. at whatever time that is for you in your time zone, to welcome in the higher energies that are coming. This needs to be dramatically life-changing and world society altering, because we're tired. We've learned our lesson, many of us, enough of us, as Steve said last night, to have surpassed the tipping point. It doesn't take much. We've crossed that tipping point of being willing to say yes to the universe. Yes, we want to awaken. Yes, we want our consciousness to expand. Yes, we want our DNA, the parts that were so-called junk DNA that have been latent. We want our DNA activated. We want to know how to use our powers. We want for greater good, for creating a world together that literally serves everyone. And we want to do this with peace. We want to do this with truth. We want to do this with love and compassion and forgiveness. Yes, if we have to hold people accountable for the things that they've done, indeed, that's what we have to do, which is why I'm involved and have been involved in legal battles to try to get the courts and the police and the government to do what is their responsibility to do. And of course, the financial system needs to be brought into check, because it has to stop stealing people's properties, stealing people's homes and land. Not properties. Properties is the wrong word. Stealing people's land and their homes right out from under them. We need to stop these things. We need to stand up and say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's been fraud committed here, and fraud has no statute of limitations. It's time to right the wrongs and to make amends. And the government needs to do that. The financial institutions need to do that. There is no shortage of what we call money. There is no such thing as a shortage. There never has been. Neither could there be when you can create it out of thin air, as has been being done for a long time. That's the big thing. To me, there's no area in human life that needs to radically change more in society than the financial system. It needs to be, something needs to be created where that system works for the betterment of mankind and not for the enrichment of a relative few families on the planet that try to get all the resources into their ownership and possession. This thing needs to happen in society. That's what we talked about last night, the exoteric manifestations. But the esoteric manifestations, we need to open our hearts. That's what I just encouraged you just a few minutes ago. We need to open our hearts to these energies. We need to say a prayer to whatever we call the divine feminine and the divine masculine, to welcome in the energies, to say, yes, I am your child, and I want to see a world where your kingdom is manifested on earth, where there's peace and where people cooperate instead of compete with each other. I want to see a world that works for everyone, where no one is denied their rights, where no one's ability to speak their own mind and to live in integrity to their own calling and their own mission is ever challenged by another, where we learn to honor and respect each other, and we learn to say namaste. And what are those other words? Let me see. I found something. I got it right here. I don't even in lakesh alaki mirrors the same sentiment of other greetings such as namaste, wiracocha for the Inca, mita. See, the problem is I don't know how to pronounce those words. The Lakota saying miteki oasin. I don't know how to say those things. They're so Greek to me, and they're not Greek at all. I know that's just the expression. I know, Aristo. It's not all Greek just because I can't understand it. It could be Russian or any other language, but in this case it's Inca and Lakota, and I don't know that in Lakesh is, I think, Mayan, actually, which is appropriate for the Mayan calendar. But I don't know how to pronounce those words, so namaste is at least one that I can do. But they all mean, I recognize the divine in you, and I honor you. You are a child of God. You are my brother. You are my sister. And together we honor all life. We honor all life, and we're going to create a world. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a vegetarian world. Maybe we'll get new teeth. Or maybe it'll be a world where we do eat animals. But it's all for the purpose of evolution. I don't know what the world's going to look like. We're creating it together. It hasn't happened yet. It's been millennia since we had a golden age. We've had them before. The pyramids were built, and a lot of the structures were built in the last golden age. We're moving in on that again, aren't we? We're moving in where we're going to be able to create together a beautiful world, a renaissance of creativity, of artistry, of beautiful music, of free energy, of healing devices that will no longer even get sick, because we will find a place within our beings of homeostasis and of balance and integrity within ourselves. And those that don't want to do that, they want to keep playing a different game, well, they can go somewhere else and play it if that's what they want. And I think the universe will make a space for them. As it said, hell has enlarged herself. God didn't create hell. The creation created hell because they wanted to play in a field that is impossible, but made possible by the extreme grace of God that says, okay, you want to live as if there is no God, as if there is no love, as if there is only greed and selfishness and purposes that do harm to life itself. If you want to live that way, the hell can be created for you. We'll let you create that place so that you can experiment and experience whatever the fruit of your creation is going to be. But what you reap, you will sow. And that's divine law. That's the law of karma, and it's working. Even though we don't see it work fast enough sometimes, it's working. And these are all things that are going through my mind as I deal with the energies myself, in anticipation of what's happening right now in our world as we open up and awaken to these divine feminine energies that are coming in to balance the divine masculine energies that became distorted in our culture. And we have to make changes there. We have to put our boots on the ground and do the work of loving one another. And believe me, I think that's not going to be work. It's going to be pleasure when we finally get it, when our eyes are finally opened, here in our mind and here in our heart. With our heart, we're going to think, and with our mind, we're going to feel. And there's going to be a dance between the brain and the heart. Okay, there's going to be a dance between the masculine and the feminine, between the light and the dark. We're going to learn how to stop dueling and to be unity conscious instead of duality conscious, of just being aware of the conflict between polarities. We're not going to need to polarize anymore. We're not going to need to distort. This is the energy that's coming in to help us. And I encourage you with all of my heart to open all of your heart to these energies so that together we can experience the joy of Jubilee, of all debts forgiven and all slaves finally set free. Thank you for listening. Namaste.